welcome you watching News9 Live with me, Neha Khanna. On this show, we are going to focus on the one big tragedy that everyone is talking about. In one of India's worst rail tragedies in years, perhaps decades, 275 people were killed and over 1,000 injured in Odisha on Friday. The mishap involved 3 trains and a collision that was beyond anyone's imagination. The Coromandel Shalimar Express, which was heading to Chennai, derailed and hit a goods train, resulting in multiple coaches slipping over. The Bengaluru-Howrah Superfast Express then collided with the derailed coaches. Both these trains were moving at a very high speed when the collisions occurred. The tragedy unfolded around 7 p.m. on Friday near the Bahanaga Bazaar station in Balasore in Odisha. That's 250 kilometers from Kolkata and 170 kilometers from state capital Bhubaneswar. The derailment of 10 to 12 coaches of the Shalimar-Chennai Coromandel Express caused them to fall onto the opposite track. That's when the Bengaluru-Howrah Superfast Express collided with the derailed coaches, leading to the derailment of 3 to 4 of its own coaches. And that wasn't the end of it. A goods train was also involved in the crash. Hundreds of people were brutally killed in minutes. Entire families were wiped out. Lifeless bodies and severed limbs lying on top of each other were strewn all over the railway tracks. The scenes of death and destruction, victims howling in pain, many desperately looking for their loved ones, were horrifying and heart-rending. Scores of lives were changed forever. Now, the Railway Ministry says signalling interference is what caused the accident. The Railway Board has recommended that the probe be handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation. They say the possibility of sabotage cannot be ruled out. Many questions are being asked and need to be asked. One of them is this: why was Kavach not installed on the railway tracks where the multi-train collision occurred? Kavach is an indigenously developed automatic train protection system designed to prevent train collisions and achieve safety in train operations across the Indian Railways. It is a state-of-the-art anti-collision mechanism that's meant to provide protection by preventing trains from passing the signal at red, which marks danger, and thereby avoid collision. It activates the train's braking system automatically if the driver fails to control the train as per speed restrictions. It prevents collision between 2 locomotives equipped with functional Kavach systems. The system also relays SOS messages during emergency situations and provides for centralized live monitoring of train movements through the network monitor system. Kavach is one of the cheapest technologies where the probability of error is 1 in 10,000 years. That's what experts say. Some railways officials claim that the Kavach system could not have prevented this particular mishap. The most important question that we really need to ask is this: just who is responsible for this enormous human tragedy? Will anyone be held accountable? Will any heads roll? Or will it be business as usual once the story of this tragedy disappears from the news cycle? When will Indian Railways become a truly safe mode of transport for millions of Indians who depend on them?
CFSL की टीम जो है वो बनगहा रेलवे स्टेशन पर पहुंची है। यहाँ पर आप अधिकारियों को देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पर अधिकारी पहुंचे हैं और यहाँ पर पूरे घटना की जो वीडियोग्राफी है वो की जाएगी। इनके हाथों में कैमरा है, जो सबूत है उसको यहाँ पर कैमरे में कैप्चर किया जाएगा। फिलहाल आप देख सकते हैं कि CFSL के जो अधिकारी हैं वो जो हैं वो यहाँ पर पहुँचे हुए हैं। आप देखिए, इनके हाथों में कैमरा है, तमाम चीज़ों की वीडियोग्राफी की जाएगी, तमाम सबूतों को यहाँ पर इकट्ठा किया जाएगा और उसके बाद किस तरह की टेक्निकल खामी हो सकती है, किस तरह की चीज़ें हो सकती हैं, वो जो है उसको यहाँ पर जो है जानकारी जुटाने की कोशिश है। CFSL के लोग यहाँ पर पहुँचे हैं, 3 लोग इस टीम में हैं, तीनों ही अधिकारी स्तर के लोग हैं। फिलहाल यहाँ पर बात करने की भी कोशिश करते हैं। सर, आप लोग CFSL से हैं, कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? CFSL से बात नहीं। बिल्कुल, देखिए स्पष्ट तौर पे कह रहे हैं कि CFSL से हैं। यहाँ पर तमाम सबूतों को इकट्ठा करने के लिए उस घटना स्थल पर, उस स्पॉट पर पहुंचे हैं जहां पर ये पूरा एक्सीडेंट हुआ है। और सीएफएसएल इस घटना स्थल का पूरा मुआयना करेगा, वीडियोग्राफी करेगा, सबूत इकट्ठा करेगा और उसके बाद में अपनी जो रिपोर्ट है तैयार करेगा और उसके बाद में एजेंसियों को इसको सौंपेगा।
Till yesterday it was 300, now it has come down substantially to less than 250. So it will continue. Now people are recovering faster. Only few people we hope would require little longer treatment. Otherwise things are going on smoothly. From medical side we don't have any problem. We only the current problem that we are encountering is how quickly can we get the bodies identified. That is the only challenge. So once that happens, rest of the things, as you know, state government has decided that the entire expenditure on this count, we will not pass it on to anybody. Honorable Chief Minister has said that from Chief Minister's relief fund, this amount will be spent for transfer of the body, people who are coming to Bhubaneswar, their stay and all of local logistics, everything, we will meet those expenditures.
अभी आपने देखा अब तक 3 गाड़ियां जा चुकी है। टोटल रात में करीब 7 गाड़ियां प्लान्ड है और एकदम नॉर्मलाइजेशन की तरफ ले जाना है। और बहुत ही संवेदना के साथ जिन परिवारों के मेंबर्स खो गए उनको किसी न किसी जल्दी से जल्दी उनके पास उनके परिवारजन पहुंचे, ये हमारा दायित्व अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ है।
एक्सीडेंट में घायल हुए सभी व्यक्ति को अच्छी से अच्छी ट्रीटमेंट मिले, वो अपने घर पहुंचाने तक की व्यवस्था रेलवे मंत्रालय, हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री, एम्स भुवनेश्वर और स्थानिक प्रशासन सब लोगों ने साथ में मिलकर तैयार की है ताकि सभी को अच्छी सुविधाएं मिल पाए। और स्थानिक एम्स को मदद करने के लिए दिल्ली एम्स के नेतृत्व में आरएमएल हॉस्पिटल, लेडी हार्डिंग्स हॉस्पिटल सभी के विशेषज्ञ डॉक्टर को लेके विशेष इक्विपमेंट और मेडिसिन लेके एयरफोर्स के एक विशेष विमान में टीम ऑलरेडी आ चुकी है और उसका सेवा भी चालू हो चुकी है। और शाम तक नागपुर एम्स से भी एक टीम आएगी ताकि यहां के प्रशासन को मदद हो सके और अच्छी सारवार मिल सके।
सेफ्टी और सिक्योरिटी को क्यों आपने महत्व नहीं दिया? अगर इक्वल महत्व दिए होते तो आज ये दुर्घटना होने वाली। ये दुर्घटना तो नहीं है, एक्सीडेंट है। ये रेल विभाग ने कराया है, ये आपका सिस्टम ने कराया है, आपका गवर्नेंस ने कराया है, भारत सरकार का गवर्नेंस ने कराया है। आपने रेल को कभी सीरियसली लिया ही नहीं, क्यों? आपकी मनसा क्या था? आप चाहते थे इसको प्राइवेटाइज करें? इतना बड़ा सेक्टर को, आपका षड्यंत्र हर क्षेत्र को प्राइवेटाइज करने का। और आपने रेलवे को शुरू से ही 17-18 में ही आपने शुरू कर दिया कि उसका बजट को यूनियन बजट में जोड़ के आपने उसको लाइट वेट कर दिया रेलवे को। और तब से आज तक देखिए कितना कटौती है आर्थिक बंटन में। आपने 3 लाख लोगों से ज्यादा आज वैकेट है। सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी स्टाफ कितना है देख लीजिए, वहां भी लगभग 1.5 लाख के करीब स्टाफ, वहां भी वैकेंसी है सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी में। तो कैसे आप सिक्योरिटी मॉनिटर करोगे? क्या रेलवे के पास सिस्टम है? हर रोज रेलवे बोर्ड मॉनिटर करता है ट्रेन मूवमेंट का, सिग्नलिंग सिस्टम का, ट्रैफिक का और रेल का, पटरी का। क्या हर जोनल रेलवेज में हर रोज मॉनिटरिंग होता है? क्या डिविजनल रेलवेज हर रोज देखता है, हर समय सुबह शाम 12 घंटा में एक बार देख पाता है? जब इतना जनता का जीवन सड़क पर जा रहा है तो क्या जो लोग सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी डिपार्टमेंट हैं और जो बॉस है, डीआरएम हो गया, जीएम हो गया, रेल मिनिस्टर हो गया, क्या देश के प्रधानमंत्री देश के करोड़ों जनता का जीवन को सम्मान करते हैं, आदर करते हैं, प्यार करते हैं? तो साल में एक बार मॉनिटर करते हैं?
इस तरह की त्रासदी और दुर्घटना को मुकाबला करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है, लेकिन उड़ीसा राज्य में जो विगत 20 सालों से जो एक्सपीरियंस गेन किया है, जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर खड़ा किया गया है प्राकृतिक आपदाओं से मुकाबला करने के लिए, वो यहाँ पर बहुत काम आया। और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि जो हमारा फास्ट रिस्पांस था और हमारी जो टीम्स थी, फायर सर्विसेज की टीम है, ओड्रैफ की टीम है, एनडीआरएफ की टीम्स हैं, जो हमारे स्थानीय प्रशासन के जो लोग हैं, बीडीओज हैं, तहसीलदार्स हैं, डॉक्टर्स हैं, मेडिकल सर्विसेज हैं, वो सब इस तरह की प्राकृतिक आपदाओं का मुकाबला करने के लिए काफ़ी समय से प्रयासरत हैं और काफ़ी परिश्रम करते हैं, परिचित भी हैं और उनका एक्सपीरियंस भी इसमें है, वो इसमें बहुत काम आया। और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि 200 से ज़्यादा लोगों की इसमें जान गई, किंतु 2000 से ज़्यादा लोगों को बचाया जा सका। और वो बचाने के पीछे जो मुख्य कारण यही है कि जो उड़ीसा राज्य में जो प्राकृतिक आपदाओं का मुकाबला करने के लिए जो एक्सपर्टाइज डेवलप हुई है, उसको हम लोग वहाँ पर समय से डिप्लॉय कर पाए, उसकी वजह से इतने ज़्यादा लोगों की जान हम बचा पाए।
कि ये बहुत बड़ा हादसा है, जांच तो होती रहेगी और सीबीआई अगर जांच कर रही है तो केंद्र की ही एक एजेंसी है। जाहिर सी बात है केंद्र सरकार की कमियों के ऊपर तो प्रकाश सीबीआई नहीं डाल सकती, क्योंकि सीबीआई एक पॉलिटिकल प्रेशर में काम करने वाली एजेंसी है। सीएजी की रिपोर्ट छपी है, पिछले साल संसद में दिसंबर में वो संसद के में रखी भी गई। उसमें साफ ये बात कही गई है 2017 अप्रैल से लेकर मार्च 2022 तक 217 बड़ी घटनाएं हुई जिसके अंदर किसी ना किसी की मृत्यु हुई या बड़ा नुकसान हुआ। ये कॉन्सिक्वेंशियल एक्सीडेंट्स बोलते हैं। इनकॉन्सिक्वेंशियल करीब 1800 हुए, वो अलग है। और इन 217 एक्सीडेंट्स में भी करीब 163 यानी कि 75% एक्सीडेंट जो है रेल की पटरी से ट्रेन के उतरने की वजह से एक्सीडेंट हुए हैं। और उसमें साफ कहा गया कि ये जो हजारों किलोमीटर की रेल लाइन है, जो पटरियां हैं, इनका रखरखाव सरकार ठीक तरीके से नहीं कर रही है।
Seen the situation means the train bogies were inclined like this kind of slopes were there, so inclined, and all those people were जो बोलते हैं ना कि एक साथ डंप हो गए, है ना, 20, 30, 20, 30 people were dumped at a place and scattered people are screaming. So scene was so difficult that you can't understand to whom you are going to serve first, to whom you are going to rescue first.
Early in the morning, around 100 bodies have been shifted from here to AIIMS Bhubaneswar and Nosi, the place, another 50-60 bodies still lying over there, and many people have been shifted. Those are in serious conditions. They are in Cuttack Medical, and also some people, more than 100 also are in Balasore.
It's not recommendation, it is order. See,
All right,
legal parlance.
we are now going to throw this open to our guests. We are looking at multiple important questions, the most important of which is how did this tragedy occur and who is responsible really, and will any accountability be held? Let's introduce our guests at this point. We're joined by M.Y. Siddiqui, former spokesperson for the Ministry of Railways, who's here with me in the studio. We're also joined by Sameer Zaveri, railway safety processing expert, and Ketan Garodia, member of the Accident Committee, Central Railways. All right, Sameer Zaveri, let me start with you. You know, there have been train accidents in India in the past, but this is by far the worst in years, possibly decades. 275 people have officially been killed. There are fears the death toll may rise further. Over 1,000 people have been injured, some of them quite grievously. Now, one train derails, its coaches fall onto the parallel track, and then you have another train coming in and colliding with those derailed coaches. In the process, some of its own coaches flip over, and then there is a third train, a goods train, which collides with these derailed coaches. How did this happen? we seem to have absolutely no explanation. All we are told is there might have been signaling interference. What does that mean? Please explain this to the average viewer.
In India, our country, whenever train accident or derailment happen, the Commissioner of Railway Safety conduct the inquiry under Section 114 of the Indian Railway Act. That inquiry cover main 5-6 facts. One is what is the reason behind the accident, whether there was negligence of the railway authority, railway officials, and who were responsible for that, and in future what preventive measures should be taken by learning from this accident. So on the Commission of Railway Safety website, I want to put up 6-7 important points. It is clearly mentioned that from year 2013 to 2020, total 28 reports have been submitted by Commissioner of Railway Safety to the Ministry of Railway with 307 recommendations. However, the website, it is clearly mentioned that no action taken report received from Railway Ministry. This is apathy, callousness toward the safety and life of the passengers. Till years 7-8 years, why Railway Ministry not submitting action taken report for safety standard, which demanded by the Commissioner of Railway Safety itself. Second, on website it is written that during the year 2018, 19 and 20, in India, 120 train accidents happened, out of which 76 train accidents, the railway staff held responsible. Their error is reason for the accidents. So, what action has been taken by the Railway Ministry? Railway Minister cried. I have seen crying him on the camera. However, crying is not enough. You are the minister. You are the vicarious liable for the each death of the innocent people. What action you have taken? Put all 307 recommendations on the railway website. What action you have taken? Put all Commissioner of Railway Safety's inquiry report in last 10 years on the railway website. Because I have obtained one inquiry report as a citizen, I am common man, to understand. This is the inquiry report of one passenger train derailed in Rajasthan on 19 November 2016. So it is clearly mentioned, because when incidents happen, we all speak. After 4 days, we all forget. Even opposition speak this time. Why opposition not taking up cognizance? Why not studying this report? It is available on website, public domain. This report of Rajasthan train derailment clearly says that the railway fish plate, the joint railway track, was fitted by only 3 bolts against the prescribed 6 bolt standard. Means they put only 3 bolts instead of 6. Further deficiencies in the building failure, everything is mentioned in the report. In report clearly mentioned that these incidents could have been averted if the prescribed maintenance guidelines were followed by the railway officers. The responsibility also fixed by the Commissioner of Railway Safety, that the railway officers, the negligence is mentioned in the report, are responsible for these incidents. There is the clearly negligence, disobey of the railway maintenance standards. And I have written the letter pertaining to these incidents to the Honorable Railway Minister. This is the copy of letter. I have demanded why case under Railway Act Section 175 has not been registered against the concerned railway officers who are held responsible by government authority, the Commissioner of Railway Safety, with the crystal clear report. Everything, scientific report, everything is mentioned in this report. And the Section 175 Railway Act states, endangering the safety of persons if any railway servant neglect or disobey any rules and endanger the safety of any persons is liable to be punished with the jail and the penalty. So, pertaining to this 76, 2018 to 2020 train accident, the railway staff error were responsible. In how many cases the railway ministry has registered the cases? The Railway Protection Force has power to register the case under Section 175 under Article 311 of Constitution of India. The government authority has power to dismiss this railway officers and staff from service. They are not fit for service. But why this is not happening?
Mr. Zaveri, you raised some extremely important points. Yes, okay, complete your point. Complete your point.
Yeah. One more thing. All the honorable my prime minister reached there. After death of people, why you reach there? Why you are not taking when you have your government authority commission of railway safety state that this incident, this was the negligence, this was the non-compliance of the standards. You do comply it. Why you are not complying? In Mumbai, every year I have obtained the RTI information from the railway police commissioner. Last year in 2022, around 2,000 people died in Mumbai suburban section. See, at a one time 300 people died. Everything, minister, railway minister, prime minister, everybody wake up and reach there. Mumbai last year 2,000 people died.
Okay.
What cognizance you have
I
taken?
think you're absolutely right, Mr. Zaveri. You've raised some very, very important questions and, shared some very valuable information and inputs with us. Ketan Garodia, let me come to you. Sameer Zaveri says there is no doubt that there has been huge negligence. You know, today we're all talking about it, the government is talking about it, the railway minister is promising action, but in a few days everything will be forgotten. This is obviously not India's first train accident, though it's definitely one of the worst in years, if not decades. Mr. Zaveri makes the point that there has clearly been non-compliance with safety and maintenance standards. This is a clear case of negligence. Over the years, there has been one inquiry commission report after another, but these reports are never acted upon. The recommendations are hardly ever adopted. Nothing ever changes. So you tell me, Ketan Garodia, what according to you went wrong? Yes, the inquiries will take place. Now there is also talk of a CBI inquiry. Yes, those reports will be submitted. The question is, why does nothing ever change? As I keep saying, there have been multiple train accidents in this country in the past. Why does nothing ever change?
Well, first of all, condolences to the people who have died. And I would say this is not an accident. This is plain and simple sabotage. Someone wanted this train, Coromandalam Express, to hit the Bengaluru-Howrah Express. Now you find that person, these things need to be investigated, not by the CBI, it needs to be investigated by the NIA.
You're actually calling this
serious.
a potential case of terrorism. Why are you so convinced, Mr. Garodia, that this is a case of sabotage?
Switching systems do not change automatically. If someone has given a signal for the train to switch from the main line to the loop line, that doesn't happen by accident. Someone has done this. And it was supposed to time in such a way that two trains would collide. Here, the different thing has happened is the timing was a little bit off, or you would have seen maybe more than 1,000 dead. Okay, this is plain and simple act of terrorism, if you ask me. Okay, let the reports come in. Okay, I'm just a layman, so I would not be, saying anything till I see the reports. But if you ask me as a person, what is my personal opinion? I would say this is nothing but terrorism.
But on what basis are you saying that, sir? You are saying I'm a lay person. You are a member of the accident committee with the Central Railways.
I was.
What you're making, sir, is a very serious claim. So I want you to tell our viewers what you are basing this claim on. You're calling it a case of terrorism. Why?
Yes, because when a train is signaled to go from the main line to the loop line, when a signal is not supposed to be passed out there, okay, means no one had to press the switch. If someone had to press the switch and if they press the wrong switch, I could understand. But when you don't have to press a switch, then why did someone press the switch? Okay. Now 3 trains are colliding amongst themselves. Actually, the Bengaluru-Howrah train was supposed to bang into this train. That is what I see it. Okay. I see that the fatalities are less than what would have been the fatalities. This area is very near the Naxal area, and I don't know who was in charge of the signaling system out there, but this needs to be investigated by the NIA.
Okay.
My opinion is very simple. This is nothing but plain sabotage.
You are calling it sabotage. You're calling it a case of terrorism. You are saying that this has happened near a Naxal-infested area. Somebody wanted the collision to happen. They wanted to inflict even more damage. They probably wanted 1,000 people to die. We don't know what happened. All we know is that this is a huge tragedy, and hundreds of people have paid a very heavy price for this incident, for this tragedy. The question is, who is accountable? Let me come to you, Mr. Siddiqui. Ketan Garodia is so convinced that this is sabotage. He is even calling it terrorism. Samir Zaveri, who spoke earlier, said this is a simple case of negligence, non-compliance with safety and maintenance standards. There have been so many accidents over the years. There have been multiple inquiry commissions and their reports have been submitted. The recommendations are never taken seriously or acted upon. What is going on here according to you, sir? What went wrong?
Well, it is a systematic failure. See, over the years, railway continues to be under-invested, and whatever allocation has been made is not fully spent, fully incurred. And at the same time, there is acute shortages of staff, manpower. Recruitment was not being done as it should have been. There are nearly or approximately 4 lakh vacancies. Of them, more than 2 lakh is in the frontline staff, who are responsible for safety. See, inspection and monitoring of tracks has lessened to the negligible level. So it is a case of total negligence, and never before any minister or the railway board officials pinpointed any suspicion or blame. For the first time, the case is public attention is being diverted to sabotage or untoward incident, which does not appear to be prima facie a case, simply because the accident happened in the proximity of Naxal areas. Does not mean that it is a case of sabotage. It is a case of railways failure, failure of signaling failure. It is a case of railway ministry's failure. It is a case of minister's failure. Minister till recently was tomtoming the efficacy and 100% technological proof or accident proof anti-collision device, which was indigenously developed earlier by Konkan Railway, and they have renamed in their typical manner of renaming every device into their own format, Hindi format. So it is now known as Kavach, and they are making out a case that Kavach was not available in that zone. Who will believe? Because that is high density route. Among the connecting all the 4 metros and 12 major ports. So who will believe that this system is not available? This is satellite operated. A minister was tomtoming this efficacy till recently. He should be held responsible, and all efforts are sought to be made out to save him or the government for that matter. They are publicity hungry. All efforts are publicity oriented, headline management, media management. There is nothing on ground, to say the least. Referring to CBI is an unprecedented case, because CBI is essentially police outfit. It is under the government control. Government investigating itself, how can it give, who will believe CBI, because it is essentially a police outfit, and police is enjoy the lowest public credibility, confidence, because it had lost neutrality, fairness in its investigation, in its onerous duty to ensure law and order. So referring to CBI means saving itself, nothing else. The government has abrogated the power of Commissioner of Railway Safety, and they are also captive. So they cannot also, they used to earlier criticize government, railway and all that. So unless there is a independent judicial inquiry, people will not come to the truth. They are preemptive and prejudicing inquiry. The government has already pinpointed certain blame which should not have been done in the scheme of the Constitution of India. It should be left to the Commission of Inquiry and let the people wait for what actually happened. And this has not happened. The government has, and they are apportioning blame. And indication to that is very much obvious that it is a case of sabotage. I mean, let us not, it is too hasty to surmise that. It should not have been done, because this government is known for its proclivity to nationalism or in the name of security, and they get away with that. That is not the case. It should be, if it is serious, it should be inquired by an independent and objective commission, so that fair justice is meted out to the people. In democracy, a government elected is a transient government, and it is responsible to the people. It is accountable to the people for its good or bad. Here the government is evading its responsibility and inquiring into itself, by itself, and which cannot convince the people. So there is something fishy about the intention of government, as I can see.
All right, very, very strong words from M.Y. Siddiqui, who says that the theory of sabotage is nothing but a distraction to divert attention away from the massive failure of the railways, the officials and the ministry. The minister till recently was tom-tomming the efficacy of safety mechanisms such as Kavach. They now want us to believe that Kavach would not have prevented this tragedy. He says that there has to be an independent inquiry by a judicial commission, and a CBI probe is nothing but an eyewash and a diversion. Let me bring in Mahesh Mangal into the conversation. Mr. Mangal, we have two completely divergent views on this show. You have Ketan Garodia saying he's convinced that this is nothing short of sabotage, a case of terrorism. The area happens to be close to Naxal-infested regions. However, you have Sameer Zaveri and Mr. M.Y. Siddiqui, who's just now spoken in very, very strong terms, saying the theory of sabotage is nothing but a diversion, a CBI probe is nothing but a distraction. You need an independent judicial probe to establish the truth, because hundreds of people have lost their lives. This is a very serious matter. Accountability needs to be fixed, and right now it seems nobody is serious about fixing accountability. This is nothing but criminal negligence on part of the Railway Ministry, says Mr. Siddiqui. What are your views on what went so horribly wrong on Friday evening in Odisha? Sir, could you please unmute yourself?
Go
ahead, Mr.
Good afternoon. Good evening. In fact, what I was telling was the minister has given the statement from the site, as well as member from Railway Board has explained in detail about the accident. So the accident cause has been established to some extent, although inquiry is going on by an independent authority, which is Commissioner of Railway Safety, and they will give their preliminary report shortly, and they will also name the people who are culprit for this particular accident. So I think as far as sabotage and other thing is concerned, I think whatever decision Railway Board and Minister has taken, they must have seen the status, the consequential things at site, and based on that, they must have come to know that there could be more than the human angle into this. That is why I think they have recommended CBI probe. And,
but sir, again the question is, you know, while I understand that an inquiry is meant to establish the cause of an accident of this nature, but you know, on what basis are people saying, or you know, jumping to the conclusion that this is sabotage? As far as I know, there is no evidence to this effect so far. There have been multiple train accidents in this country in the past. On what basis are people jumping to the conclusion that there is sabotage in this particular case? I mean, if we really don't know what happened, if we don't know that there was human error, then might as well wait for the inquiry committee to submit its report before we jump to the conclusion that this is sabotage for sure.
That of course people from Ministry of Railways only can answer, but my feeling is that it definitely involved some of the people due to which the train has gone into the loop line. Because the system, as far as the interlocking is concerned, electronic interlocking was there, they are all fail-safe. Such thing cannot happen in electronic interlocking. And once you give the signal, you cannot move the point at all. Nobody can move the point. They are locked. Unless the train completes its journey, it cannot be changed. In fact, so that itself indicates that whatever has happened was because of some human. The minister was saying that there was some electronic interlocking work was going on. For doing the work, there are certain procedures. You cannot run the train and do the modifications. So
are you calling it a human error, sir? That's what I'm trying to understand. Are you calling it human error and negligence on part of officials?
It is, you can say it, if it is somebody was working and train were operating at with signals, then it is a negligence on part of the officials who were there. So that is what negligence angle is definitely there. I mean, otherwise such incidents cannot happen. We have 8,000 stations on Indian Railways, and thousands of trains are operating every day. Such kind of things has been seen maybe after a very long time. So systems are safe. So it is definitely some human intervention, as Minister has explained that some work was going on, which was definitely not as per procedure. They are not done. They were not doing as per procedure, and that is why this incident has happened.
Okay, so 3 of our 4 guests are convinced that this accident is a result of criminal negligence. Sameer Zaveri, do you believe, as does Mr. Siddiqui, that the sabotage theory is nothing but a diversion and an attempt to hold people responsible for this massive tragedy? Also, your thoughts on, what some railways officials are now saying, that Kavach could not have prevented this. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Kavach is this, supposed to be this fail-safe, state-of-the-art anti-collision mechanism that activates the train's braking system. If the driver fails to control the train as per speed restrictions, it prevents collision between 2 locomotives that are equipped with functional Kavach systems. And we all know that Kavach is not installed on the tracks where the derailment and the collisions occurred. On what basis are these railways officials saying that Kavach could not have prevented this collision? Again, does this sound like a cover-up?
I want to put on very big picture the focus that all over India, daily around 1.5 crore passengers travel by train. In Mumbai suburban section, daily 60 lakh passengers travel by Mumbai suburban train. Government put every effort to bring bullet train, the world-class technology in India. But the existing Indian railways, why not putting that world-class technology in Indian railways? For example, I want to put 2 points which I have RTI reply from the railway authority only, that in Mumbai suburban section, earlier I got RTI reply, in 4 years, 500 times railway track got fracture. So because of the frequently and regular fracturing the railway track, they do welding. Again welding failure, again they do welding. So in nowadays, the latest technology, the unbreakable railway track is available in market. Why not Indian Railway replacing this old system with the latest technology? Number one, to for safe travel. Second, the in Mumbai suburban section, every year 1,700 passengers fall from running train because there is overcrowding. One suburban train has capacity of 1,200 passengers sitting. They carry in peak hour, morning 4 hour, evening 4 hour, 5,000 passengers. So 700 passengers every year die, 1,000 passengers got injured. So to solve this death, make zero death, the signaling system, the railway in Mumbai run at 3.5 minute frequency. That can be done by 1.5 minute frequency by replacing the manual operation system to the computerized system. Entire world, the computerized system is working in the railways and suburban railways. So because of the existing train, one Mumbai suburban train take 12 rounds per day. So if replace the technology manual to computerized, then this train instead of 12, they take 24 rounds. So overcrowding problem will be solved by putting the latest technology. Why not? The railway minister is vicarious liable for that. Either you do or do resign. Why people die? Why innocent people die? And one more point: the government announced the compensation of rupees 10 lakh, the ex gratia. As per Indian Railway law, maximum compensation amount is the 8 lakh rupees, and normal people in individual cases, one or two, go to the railway claim tribunal. It takes 5 years to decide. And on road accident, people get 1 crore, 3 crore according to the age and the income. So why not Indian Railway fix the maximum, the amount? Why not the according to road accident in same India, same constitution, equality before law, article 14 is there, then why differences? Why railway accident victim get certain fixed amount, limited lower amount, and the road accident victim died, he get the unlimited amount according to age and income and everything. So my demand is to government wake up, and the opposition also. They shouted this time. They put number of things 3-4 days. Why you not engage your people, your volunteers, to take up such issues one by one, which are available through RTI Act, and you take up in Parliament? Why member of Parliament of opposition party not taking up these all issues? Me and you. The media is the fifth pillar of our country. We are obtaining the information, the right to information act. We are putting Twitter. We are what in our base as a common man citizen we are trying, but who are listening us? So at least our people's representative. Take up
Good
the
point,
issue.
Mr. Zaveri. You're saying even the upper limit or ceiling on the amount of compensation or ex gratia figure that's given out in case of rail accidents is absolutely unfair when you compare it to the compensation that's often granted in case of road accidents. That ceiling needs to be lifted. I think that is a good point. But, you know, here we really need to look at why lives are being lost in the first place and what do we do to ensure that more precious lives are not lost going forward. Ketan Garodia, you are in a minority of one on this panel. You've heard the other panelists, especially M.Y. Siddiqui, who is here with me in the studio. He's a former spokesperson for the Ministry of Railways. And he is rubbishing the sabotage theory that you support. He says it is nothing but a diversionary tactic because it seems that there is an attempt at a cover-up. The government is not serious about finding out what exactly happened, who is responsible. In fact, Mr. Siddiqui has gone as far as to say that the buck stops with the railway minister himself. And all this talk about sabotage is nothing but a waste of time. A CBI inquiry or an NIA probe, as you're demanding it, would be absolutely nothing but a waste of time and a diversion. Please respond.
No. I may be a minority of one, but let me say that the last 10 years of my life has gone in fighting the railways for bringing in CBTC to Mumbai. Samir Bhai also knows that. Okay. The last time Mr. Piyush Goyal had promised us that CBTC will be brought to Bombay, and 8,000 crores was also sanctioned, but that part was also not done. So even if I'm a minority of one, that doesn't mean that I'm a government spokesperson or anything. I'm just telling you what I feel. I feel that if a signal was sent to change the track, okay, then why was the signal sent when there was no need for the signal to be sent? The train was on the right track, okay, it was diverted. If it was on a different track and then it was supposed to be put on the main line, and then if something went wrong with the signal, I can understand. Okay, if the train had derailed because of, let's say, a track fracture, or let's say there were some fish plates missing, I would still say, okay, the railway is responsible because this is a maintenance issue. Okay, here it is a plain and simple signal, electronic signal, which has gone to a switching system to a point and cross where a signal should not have gone. You
But
try to
why can't
understand, these
that
are
be?
two
And I'm
different.
playing the devil's advocate, sir. I'm not questioning, your intent at all. I'm just playing the devil's advocate. Why can't the wrong signal being sent a result of human error or negligence? Because, Mahesh Mangal
Madam,
says,
negligence is
Mahesh
if I
Mangal,
have
let
to
me
send.
finish, sir. Let me finish. Mahesh Mangal says there was some maintenance or modification work going on. The minister himself has admitted it. How can you have that work going on at the same time as trains running?
Well, I'm not aware of what maintenance was going on and whether it was of the signaling system or the point on cross where the train was actually diverted. I am asking you one simple question. A train is running on a right track. Okay? It's supposed to go on the track. The only reason the train will change the path is someone gives a signal, okay, on the electronic system for the train to change the path. Now that doesn't happen automatically. Someone has to press switches.
It doesn't
Okay?
happen
Who pressed
automatically,
those switches?
fine. But how do we know this was not a result of a
It
human
doesn't
error?
happen automatically,
Okay,
madam.
that is exactly my point. Somebody did it. How do we know that this was not negligence on part of those who did it?
Madam, negligence is
That is
if
my
I don't give a
limited point.
signal.
Okay, Mr. Siddiqui, please respond. He is saying that, there was no need for the signal to go out. How did the signal go out?
See,
Who sent the signal? It is sabotage.
It is automatic. The role of manpower is little. I mean, there it is automatic 100% signaling. And this is a high density route connecting 4 metros with 2 major ports and all that. And here, if somebody is saying that there was no cover system available, that is also wrong. It is intended to save the minister. You see, because till recently minister was pontificating that it is this accident proof, and hereafter there shall be no collision between 2 trains or multiple trains. So automatically in the system has been built so that it will stop. The train will stop 400 meters ahead. So that has been claimed by the minister. And as far as signaling is concerned, there is no mechanical role, it is automatic. See, I mean, well, it is said that behind every machine or system there is a human being, but it is has most minimal role there. So I rule out, and let us not preempt or prejudice inquiry, and the inquiry that has been ordered. So both are now, you see, I mean, prejudiced. So people have lost confidence, and whatever their finding is there, nobody will believe it, because in the present juncture, there is nothing like neutrality, you see, or fairness.
Okay.
And government is not accountable, as people of India have witnessed in the pandemic, as also in the monetization.
Okay, there is lack of government accountability, says M.Y. Siddiqui. Mahesh Mangal, wrap up this discussion for us. What needs to happen here for accountability to be fixed? Because lives have been lost. We can go on debating till the cows come home. What happened? Whether there was negligence? Whose fault was it? Was it sabotage? Fact of the matter is that, human life seems to be the cheapest thing in this country, unfortunately, and that needs to change.
Yes, you are right, Yani. I mean, definitely there is a problem with the railway system, and the actual cause will be analyzed, will be identified, and I think the people who are responsible for doing that will be identified, and action will be taken. In fact, now even inquiry has been handed over to CBI. So, and as there are news that FIR has already been lost, and without any name, because the names will come after the report has been submitted and the CBI inquiry takes place. So I think nobody will will be spared, and action will also be identified that what needs to be done so that such incidents do not happen in future. And for that, whatever needs to be done will be done. As far as Kavach is concerned, Kavach was not provided on this route. Kavach has been adopted by Indian Railways only few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It is provided on a 1500 kilometers section on South Central Railway, and presently work is being done on Delhi to Howrah and Delhi to Mumbai section. And simultaneously, the target is almost 5,000 kilometers to be done every year. So that is how it will take time to cover the entire Indian Railways. I think priorities will be given to sections where more and more trains are running. High density routes will be covered first. And as far as this accident is concerned, it is such a rare combination which was there, and as Kavach only prevents accidents when trains are running on the same line. Here, goods train was on the loop line, and this train was on the main line. And it has entered into the loop line when both the trains are on the same line.
Yes.
But the distance from there was only just 100 meters from the locomotive entering into the loop line and the last coach of the freight train.
Okay.
So even if the Kavach had been there, it would not have prevented this accident.
Okay, but fact of the matter is, at least 275 lives have been lost, more than 1,000 people have been injured, families have been wiped out. This is an enormous human tragedy. Therefore, questions need to be asked about who is responsible, accountability needs to be fixed. Will these inquiry committees give us the complete truth about what happened on that fateful evening in Odisha? Will heads roll? Where does the buck stop? We're leaving you with those questions. Thanks to our guests for joining us on the show. Thanks to the viewers for watching.